Hello and welcome. Let's take a look at our top story this hour. China is preparing to hold the 20th edition of the CPC Congress. President Xi Jinping will most likely announce an unprecedented third term of his presidency in the next few days. Now, most things are going as per planned, except for one. North Korea has launched 7 missile tests in recent weeks, and now, with under a week to go for the CPC Congress to begin, the burning question is, will Pyongyang hold its tests for a while, or at least until it is over? When North Korea carried out its nuclear tests in 2017, China's President Xi Jinping was preparing to host the leaders of Brazil, Russia, India, and South Africa at a summit ahead of the Chinese Communist Party Congress. The test was declared as a perfect success by Pyongyang. However, analysts in China and the United States condemned the atomic test as an insult to Beijing. China has long been North Korea's chief ally and its primary trade partner. Beijing responded to the missile tests by joining the United Nations Security Council sanctions that choked off North Korea's fuel supplies. But 5 years on, and North Korea's military ambitions have only grown. As we said, Pyongyang fired 2 ballistic missiles into the sea late last night, making it the 7th such launch by Pyongyang in recent days. Moreover, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has personally overseen the launch of the hypersonic and intercontinental ballistic missiles. It has further enacted a law that allows for preemptive atomic strikes if an imminent attack against North Korean strategic assets and its leadership is detected. Experts further warn that North Korea may conduct another nuclear test this month, as China's ruling Communist Party prepares for its yearly Congress, where Chinese President Xi Jinping is expected to be appointed to an unprecedented third term. According to a South Korean spy agency, the window for a new atomic test may be between the 16th of October and the 7th of November. Now, for more on this, we are being joined by Soon-Young Oh from Seoul, who is a journalist at Arirang TV. Thank you for being with us. Now, Soon-Young, will North Korea rain on Xi Jinping's parade by testing missiles during the CPC Congress?
Hi, Alison. Thank you for inviting me on your show. Well, no, to answer your question briefly, no, I don't think so. They are clearly testing around the time of the National Party Congress in China, but they are definite. In my opinion, I definitely do not think they are going to test on the day or too close to the day. Well, at this point, the North Koreans, they have been testing their missiles near the day of key Chinese commemoration days, but they're not going to do it on the day because that would be really crossing the line. So they want to make sure that they are not going to steal Xi Jinping's thunder when he's, as many experts are predicting, going to extend his term and stay in office, and also set out how he's going to be leading China for the foreseeable future. So the North Koreans understand this. And of course, relations between Pyongyang and Beijing, although they are that most of the world see them as very tight allies, there is this inherent distrust between them. The North Koreans don't want to rely on China, thus they're not going to always be they're not always going to follow what Beijing advises or tells them to do. But in terms of this upcoming CPC, they are not going to try and steal Beijing's thunder at all, at least in my opinion anyway, especially at this time when North Korea is depending very much on China's economic ties and their energy as well.
Right, but we have seen in the past where Pyongyang has carried out the missile test when Beijing was preparing for a big event. It was the BRICS summit in 2017. What makes it different this time around, do you think, with China? Do you think they will rather urge North Korea to tone down the tests until their Congress is over?
I think it's quite clear for the North Koreans that China would not want any kind of distraction externally, domestically, around the time of this very important Party Congress, and they would not want any kind of any whiff of instability, news of instability to reach their people regarding North Korea. They don't want, the possible ramifications of, what would happen if there's further tension, escalations, or even as many, even a collapse of the regime. That all those things, those eventualities, they pose huge ramifications for China as well. So they do not want even a whiff of a nuclear test around that time. And I think the North Koreans understand this. And certainly the leaders have been talking in recent weeks, it seems, according to South Korea's National Intelligence Agency. Xi Jinping and Kim Jong-un, they've been exchanging friendly letters around eight rounds, apparently, very recently, according to the intelligence very late last month. So they've certainly been talking, and the North Koreans have sort of shown their, friendliness or support for deepening their relations as well. Just a week ago, exactly a week ago actually, North Korea, they unveiled a statue of their founder in Beijing, in the capital, and their key CCP members, they attended. And so you can see that in recent weeks they've taken further steps to really show that their relations are friendly, and that obviously they're not going to try and offend the Chinese at this point. So I think it's quite clear, right?
We have seen the 7th missile launch in recent days. Countries in the region are concerned. So as the US, Seoul has called it provocative and has said it harms peace. What is the likely road ahead for South Korea amid these heated tensions?
Unfortunately, I don't think we're in a situation where we can just stand back and let the North Koreans really do what they do. And our president has made it quite clear that he's going to be strengthening the South Korea-US alliance, and that will be basically the linchpin of our foreign policy as well. And certainly we've been scaling up our joint drills with the Americans. The military's been restarting our biggest joint exercises that were stalled for the past 5 years in order to promote inter-Korean peace. But North Korea, they continue to just rage ahead, really, with their missile provocations, as you've seen in the last 10 days or so, the last 2 weeks, rather. And it looks like they're heading towards their 7th nuclear test. So it seems that tensions are going to continue to escalate, unfortunately, because on both sides you're seeing this tit for tat kind of, the North Koreans are starting it, really. They're provoking us, and then you're seeing the reaction to that, and then you're seeing the reaction to the reaction. And the North Koreans also see our joint drills as a rehearsal for war, as they say. But no, the South Korea-US joint drills, they're being conducted in order to prevent war and prevent escalation. But obviously, if North Korea is going to choose to take offense at that and use it as a mandate to launch more and more missile tests and a 7th nuclear test, then the allies really can't sit back and let them do this. So unfortunately, it does look like tensions are going to escalate. And it really does depend on what Kim Jong-un decides to do. He's declared that North Korea is a nuclear state, and as you mentioned in your newscast, they recently sort of revised their nuclear posture, saying that they're prepared to take preemptive action rather than saying that their nuclear weapons development is for self-defense. So it really, we have to wait and see how he tries to leverage this kind of self-professed nuclear status, whether it's to gain, sanctions waiver or something from South Korea or the United States. But really depends on his irrational or rational actions, I suppose.
Right. Absolutely. So Young, thank you very much for being with us on this broadcast and your valuable insights there.
Thank you very much, Alison.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.